Hey y'all, Chef IrixGuy here. Within this video I'm going to explain how to grill a steak. Now people make several mistakes when they try to grill a steak, and I'm going to keep this video very simple. You know, I don't want to go into a lot of fancy ingredients, but everything that I do mention, you can expand this video's description and then click the links there to find everything that I use. In its most simplistic form, really all that one needs is a charcoal grill and charcoal. Now, something I would recommend, you know, the charcoal that already has the lighter fluid added, I would stay away from that. I would also stay away from lighting my charcoal using lighter fluid. Why do that? So for that reason, what I use, and you know, you do what you want to do, but you can see here I'm lighting my charcoal with an electric charcoal lighter. So the value add of that is, well, there's several things. Number one, I'm not using chemicals. Number two, it's convenient and clean, and I probably won't degrade the structural integrity of my grill rather. Ooh, it got smoke in my eyes because of the lighter fluid that's making contact with the grill. So we're going to let this get going, and then I'm going to walk you through how to grill a steak step by step. It's going to be fun, it's going to be easy to follow, and I welcome your comments down below. So now my coals are going good. I've unplugged the electric charcoal starter, and I'm going to take it out. See, all I got to do is give it a gentle shake, and then all of the coals that are hot, they're in place. So we're going to put this to the side. I am going to bring the camera closer here because I want you to see this up close. Not a ton of charcoal. I'm only doing one steak today for this tutorial. If I was doing more, I might put a little bit more charcoal, but see, I'm going to focus all of this around the center part here because I'm about to show you, and like I said earlier, all of this is linked within this video's description, including the grill and these things right here to handle the grate. But what I'm going to do is grab the insert. Now, I moved kind of funny because that's very hot. This is cast iron. You don't have to have this. If you just got a basic charcoal grill, that's fine. But if you want to take your creations way up there in quality, this is how you sear a steak. This is a searing grate. So I got that on there. And what we're going to do is let it heat up. But before we do, we're going to give it a good scrub. And yes, I have this linked within this video description too. Make sure everything's clean. And if you got a little bit of particles in the edges, you can get, sometimes I just use one of these, just kind of knock it off. There we go, perfect. So now we're going to let those heat up for a minute or two, and we're going to toss the steak on. And this step is completely optional. Something you may want to do is drop some hickory chips down on those hot coals. This will even further enhance the flavor. You could use hickory, you could use mesquite, you could use apple wood, you could use cherry, you could use oak, or you could just use charcoal. Charcoal itself is plenty, but in my opinion, the addition of hickory makes that steak have even more character. And those little pieces that got stuck on top, I can just knock them into my tool. See? Okay, now those are super hot. We're going to toss our steak on. This right here is a Delmonico ribeye, and you can find the wet marinade and seasoning like I use. I linked it within this video's description. Marinate it for at least a few hours, or marinate it tightly covered overnight in your refrigerator. This is a Delmonico ribeye, but you could do a sirloin, you could do a filet, New York strip. You know, you do what you want to do. Hear that? that is what the searing grate does. So the searing grate is going to not only give it awesome professional looking sear marks, but that super hot grate is going to lock in the flavors of the steak. And what I always like to do, there's always a little bit of wet marinade left in my marinating dish. I like to put that on there. Don't want it to go to waste. We're going to let this do its magic here for a little bit because we want to get some really good sear marks on it. Something you probably want to do while it's searing is close your lid. I've got the air holes open, but close your lid so it'll penetrate it with hickory while it sears. So I've let the steak stay on that side for a few minutes, and check this out. See those sear marks? That's how you get professional sear marks on a steak, is hot cast iron grill grates. And like I said, you can expand this video's description and click the link there to find the grill like I used, and also this insert, this cast iron insert. But look at how amazing that looks. So now what we're going to do is let it do the other side. Some of y'all may have noticed that I don't have seasoning on this side. It's a matter of personal preference. A lot of chefs season both sides of their steaks. I prefer to just do one. I use less seasoning. It tastes great, and it doesn't overpower. So we're going to let that go. You know, depending upon one's personal preference as far as how done they like your steak, how you can adjust the cooking time accordingly. So if you want it rare, it's not going to take long after that flip. But if you want it more well done, what I would recommend doing is get a good sear on that side. And you noticed how I had my charcoal positioned kind of in the middle. Get a good sear on that side, and then once it's got a good sear, put it off to the side and let it kind of slow cook in your grill. In my case, the Weber kettle, because that way it's really even getting further enhanced by the hickory smoke, and it's not cooking quickly like it is now on the cast iron grate. Cast iron is to sear, to lock in the flavors. But once you've seared both sides, put it off to the side and slow down the process. So as I mentioned, I let it sear on the other side. It's like I like it now. I'm going to set it off to the side. It's not completely done, but something I would recommend, as I mentioned earlier, is that put it off to the side and let it go a little bit longer, and let that hickory flavor even add additional flavor to your steak. You don't have to, but if you choose to do so, it makes it even better. And I mean, that's the way I do it. Something else, if you're wanting to check the degree of doneness, you noticed I didn't cut into it because I cook a lot of steak and I know how I like mine just by feeling it. But if you cut into it, the mistake that a lot of people make while grilling a steak is they slice through the entire steak. You don't want to do that. You just want to cut a small slit in the thicker part, a small slit so it doesn't make the steak fall apart. You just want a small slit to see the inside, check the degree of doneness. You could also use a wireless temperature probe, and I've linked those within this video's description. But for the most part, if you look at the steak, you'll probably be able to tell, hey, is it done enough for me, or do I want to cook it a little bit longer? Just practice, but don't overcook your steak. It's always good to check it early on because you cannot uncook a steak. So you want to make sure that that you're not overcooking it. So check it in the beginning and perfect the process. This is how I grill a steak. I think it's a pretty simple process, but like anything else, it requires practice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like this video, subscribe, ring that bell, and check out all of Chef IrixGuy's videos. And again, you can expand this video's description and then click the links there to find the various equipment like I use. But as I mentioned earlier, in its most simplistic form, all that you need is just a basic charcoal grill and some charcoal and a way to light it. Tell me what you think. Y'all have a good day. So there's the finished product, a perfectly cooked steak. Now I opted to melt some habanero cheese on it. That's completely optional. I'm also going to add a steak topper. So check this out. So this is my steak topper right here. I mean, really all you need is a baked potato, but I just like to make it extremely great. So I've got onions and mushrooms and garlic, all fresh. Look at that. Now that is a feast. And you don't have to go this extreme, but I hope I taught you how to grill a steak. And what you do after you grill it is completely up to you. Enjoy, subscribe, and check out all of Chef IrixGuy's videos. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.